Hi, the one stock that has the potential to give 100% gain in the next couple of months is IIFL Finance. To know more why I think this stock can give a gain of 100% or more, please watch the video where the analysis has been shared. Thank you so much. Hi everyone, welcome to the Mighty Trades channel. My name is Johar and welcome to another episode of Weekend Technical Analysis. So last week we closed our session at ITI, Indian Telephone Industries. So let's moving on to Buildlog Corporation. We are looking at the weekly chart for the last 5 years. And okay, so some interesting price action here. If we draw this trend line, which from this level, which was the previous all-time high back in Jan 2018, it did give a breakout above that, but did not manage to stay above it. And in the market correction, it fell down, and now it's consolidating here. So any further up move can only be factored in or considered if the price is able to give a closing above this previous resistance line here. So until unless it gives a breakout above this, there is no new bullish momentum that we can see in the stock. Moving on to AMARAJABAT batteries, there is zero bullishness in this stock. It's currently trading at its 52-week low, so no need to consider this. If we look at Hfcl, let's quickly take a look at the monthly chart here. Okay, so if we look at the monthly chart, we can see that the the price gave a breakout in the month of what is this, June 2021, above this level of 63 rupees, which was the previous resistance. And now it's been consolidating here in this range for a very long time. Let's switch over to the weekly chart here. You can clearly see that there is a consolidation happening in this particular price range since a couple of months now. Now, until unless the price breaks out above this consolidation zone, there is not going to be any new bullish momentum. But if and when it does, the the target that you can expect can be pretty heavy over here. So as you can see, the range is almost 80%. So if it breaks out outside of this consolidation zone, it can easily give a 40% plus move. However, we have to wait for it to give this breakout above this zone. Only then we can consider entering into this stock. So right now I'm not going to add this to my tracker. We'll add it to our watch list, but I think it's going to take a while for this stock to break out. So we'll just keep it in our watch list for now. Moving on to Power India, which is actually Hitachi Energy. So this stock has been, as you can see, from April 2020, it's been on a continuous bullish run. Now I can see a tightening consolidation here. Let's switch over to the daily chart for more clarity. So you can clearly see that this price of around 3,600 rupees is acting as a very strong resistance. But if you look at the bottoms are continuously moving up, right? This bottom, then this bottom was higher, then this bottom was higher, then this is the last bottom was higher. So these bottoms are continuously moving up. So I think this stock is getting ready for an up move beyond this point. And the first target will definitely be this price, which is 4,000 rupees, which from the current market price or from this breakout line is a gain of about 12%. So this is a very good short-term trading opportunity. We are not going to add this to our Mighty Trades tracker because we don't take such small trades of 10-11%. Anything above 40% is good. But here, this is definitely a very good price action developing here. So for anyone who's interested in taking a small short-term trade, do keep this in your watch list and you could potentially make some good quick returns over here. Moving on to IIFL. So we are looking at the weekly chart. Okay, interesting. So we can clearly see that this was a resistance line that was broken last week. Let's look at a larger time frame to understand the chart. Okay, so this is much better than what I had expected. So we can clearly see here that this is a hold resistance zone that we can observe, right? This is one resistance of 406 rupees, and then this is another resistance of about 370 370ish rupees. Now if it gives a breakout above this zone, then obviously this is the next target, and above this, then your target is uh, anyone's guess. So the most simplest way to calculate a target is to take the depth from all the way from the bottom till the top, and let's just put it up over here. Okay, so in this case the target is almost 85% from the uh, all-time high resistance level, and from the current market price the resistance is the target is almost 107%. Now I would wait for the stock to break out from first this zone of 370 rupees. It's very close to that, but we can't preempt our entry. We have to wait for a nice strong close above this. If and when it does give a strong close, let's move over to the weekly chart. Above this resistance line, then our stop loss will come somewhere around this 300 and 280 zone. So our first stop loss will be here, 290 rupees, and our second stop loss will be this zone, which is around 257 rupees. So very wide stop loss that would need to be kept. So the stop loss from this price is, let me check. So if we go for the lowest stop loss, then it's a 31% potential loss that you can make. And from this breakout zone, the potential gain that you can make is 99%. So close to 100% profit. Now this is a very nice chart setup, very good price action, good volume build up, a nice consolidation happening here since March. So almost 1 year worth of consolidation happening here. A very nice up move over the last 3 weeks. You can see the last 3 weeks candles are 3 green candles in a row. It's a very good momentum in the stock. While Nifty has not gone anywhere, this stock is making new highs every week. So definitely a very strong price movement and worth considering to add in our watch list. So IIFL, the month is April. Today's date is, let's see, today's date while I'm recording this is 17th April. The price as of today is 366.95, and consolidating near all-time high resistance. On verge of breakout. What else is there? There's a good risk to reward ratio. Strong momentum since the last 3 weeks. These are all the good things that we have seen here. So now what is our target? Our target is right here, which is 750 rupees. Our target entry price is going to be above this, so 376. So the potential gain is 99.5%. Our stop loss, we're going to keep the lowest stop loss as a stop loss, so 258 rupees. Potential loss is 30%, and we are currently waiting for entry. All right, this is a very good find, IIFL Finance. Moving on to KEI Industries. So this is at its all-time high right now. It's broken out of this resistance that was facing previously, and it's consolidating above that, which is a good sign. I don't see any significant chart pattern developing up. Plus, it's at its all-time high right now. So I'm not really sure what targets to calculate here. So if anyone who is a momentum trader can potentially enter into this. Since I'm not a momentum investor, I think I'm going to avoid this trade, but definitely a very strong chart setup with very good momentum. So someone who is interested in momentum investing can definitely look at building a position over here, depending on their entry and exit strategy. Moving over to ERIS Life Sciences, we are looking at the weekly chart right now. So there is no bullish momentum as such, but it tried to break out of its previous resistance zone here. The previous all-time high resistance, it tried to break, but it hasn't been able to, and now it's consolidating here. Let's see, there's a very high chance that it might make some sort of a rounding bottom or a saucer type of pattern and then break out. But until and unless it breaks above this 850 rupees zone, we can't enter into this trade right now. Moving on to Century Textiles. Okay, so this stock is also consolidating at its all-time high level. So this is sort of a consolidation zone that the stock is going through right now. So again, until it breaks out of this box and gives a closing above 1000 rupees, there is no bullish trade that you can make. You could potentially do some swing trading where if it comes to the bottom of this box, you can buy it here and sell it at the top. That would be a good idea to play in this. But as of now, there is no reason to enter into the stock. Moving over to Indiabulls Housing Finance. Let's look at the monthly chart once. And okay, so this stock has very deeply corrected since 2017. It's right now trading at its very bottom. So until unless it gives a breakout above this swing high of 290 300 rupees, there is no bullishness in the stock at all. You could get trapped in the stock for months or years. So better to avoid such stocks. Let it cross 300 rupees and then you can think of entering into this trade. Moving on to Indigo Paints. The stock is also on a complete downtrend since listing, so nothing to discuss here. Going over to SAREGAMA India. Okay, wow, just brilliant. I mean, these are the kind of charts that traders dream of. Just look at this. In March 2020, it made a low of 186 rupees, and since then, now it's trading at 5000 rupees. How much return would that be? Let's just see. So this is a return of 2800% that the stock has given over the last 2 years. What a brilliant move. And it still looks like that it's still not done yet with this. It looks like it's still going farther up. So this is a resistance zone that the stock needs to give a breakout of. It could potentially make a head and shoulder pattern. This could be a left shoulder, this could be the head, this could be the right shoulder, and then go up. But highly unlikely, because that this head and shoulder pattern would do well, because for a head and shoulder pattern and an inverted head and shoulder pattern, there needs to be first a downtrend, a major downtrend, to activate that head and shoulder pattern. it could make possibly a cup with handle pattern here and then go up. But until unless it breaks this 5,300 rupees line, there is not going to be any buy trade or a long trade. Till then, just keep on waiting and watching. If it does break out from here, a momentum trader might want to make some positions in this for a few weeks and ride the rally. But until then, please avoid the stock. Moving on to IDFC. Okay, let's switch over to the 5-year chart. Alright, so this stock also seems to be doing nothing. Let me switch over to the monthly chart. Okay, so now we get a much more clearer picture after we look at the monthly chart here, where we are seeing the history of the stock all the way from 2005. So clearly we can see that there is this downward trend line that the stock has been struggling to get past. And currently the price is just at this downward trend line right now. It touched the trend line and it went back down again. So until unless it gives a breakout above this trend line, there is no bullish trade that we can take here. But if and when it does break that trend line, so the first target will easily be this previous high of 92 rupees. Then the second target would become this 110 rupees, and then the next target will be the all-time high at 117 rupees. So breakout from here can take the stock very quickly through all these targets, because it's been struggling to cross this channel for years now, for more than a decade. Right, this is December 2007 and 2017, so almost 16 years worth of consolidation has been happening in this price range. So if and when it does break out, it's going to reward its investors very handsomely by moving up very quickly. Moving on to Jindal Stainless. So this stock has also broken out from its all-time high resistance back in July last year, and since then it's been slightly moving up. Let me switch over to the weekly chart. So it's making higher bottoms, right? As you can see, this bottom is higher, this bottom is higher, this bottom is higher. So the momentum trade is still very strong in this. This could potentially be making a symmetrical triangle, maybe, I'm not sure. But if we connect all these bottoms, we can clearly see a pattern of higher bottoms that it's making here. It could potentially be a symmetrical triangle that it's making right now. I'm not sure right now. We have to see what price action happens. But a breakout above 220 rupees will definitely restart the momentum again, and a momentum trader can invest into the stock. As of now, I don't know what target, how you could calculate targets. If we use our normal range calculation method, then in this case, I think that target should already have been achieved. Oh, okay. So there's still some room left, not a lot of room, some room is left. So if it breaks out above its previous all-time high, which is right here, so there is opportunity to make like some money. Not much, just 11-12% rupees gain in a couple of weeks. So currently this stock is already at its all-time high right now. Not sure how much further it can go. There needs to be some pattern that develops, or some sort of signal which I can use to calculate the pattern, the target. So as of now, it's better to avoid this stock. Looking at Intellect. Okay, let's look at the 5-year chart. Alright, so we can clearly see that the stock was consolidating in this range for a very long time. And now it's broken out of this range and it's been consolidating here for the last 2 weeks, which is again a very good sign. Now let's see if we use our range calculation method for this consolidation, then the potential gain that can be made is approximately 30% odd, which from the current market price is a gain of 26%. Volumes are good for the last couple of weeks. this movement is also extremely strong for the last couple of weeks. So definitely you could consider entering into the stock for a very short trade, and the stop loss will be the bottom of this breakout candle. So 863 rupees is a decent stop loss that you can keep for this trade. I personally will not be entering or adding this to my tracker since the target is too small. And yeah, but anyone else can definitely take this trade. It's a good chart setup if you're looking for some short-term profits. Moving on to City Union Bank. This bank is also trading at rock bottom levels, so no further discussion here. Looking at Godrej Agrovet, this stock is also trading at rock bottom levels. Again, nothing to discuss further here. Any bullish momentum will only be seen above this price line of 565 rupees, and it could potentially make a inverted head and shoulder. So this will be the left shoulder, sorry, this will be the left shoulder, this will be the head. It could make a right shoulder and then make a breakout. If that is the case, if that does happen, then the depth of the head and the neckline would make your target. So the target will become 679 rupees, which is very close to the all-time high resistance. So this could be a potential trade that could be building out right now. So that's the view on Godrej Agrovet until unless it gives a breakout of 564. And if this head and shoulder pattern does form as we are predicting, then this will be a decent short-term trade to take. I will not be taking the trade, but definitely a good short-term trade for any short-term traders. Moving on to Graphite India. Okay, so this stock has also been struggling. If you look at the history of the stock, there was this deep correction that happened here, and it made something sort of a rounding bottom pattern which failed to sustain because it gave a breakout of the pattern, then moved up, and then it came crashing down again. And now it's been trying to stabilize over here since the last couple of days. So you can clearly see that this is definitely a resistance zone for the stock, which it's trying to cross. And I would be in fact more comfortable if it gave a cross above this. So if it gave a closing above 600, then that would give a lot of confirmation that the stock is back in momentum, and you could easily take a target of the previous high of 34%. And then if this is taken out, then your next target becomes the all-time high. There is a very good chance that these stocks might break out since graphite is part or of the metal industry. So metal prices are going up, the demand for steel is going up. So definitely a company like Graphite will benefit from this. And if you also look at the chart over here, we can see that there is very few red candles that have been formed since the last 2-3 months. Right? Two green candles here, one red candle, one again big green candle, one small red candle. So every time the selling is coming, the selling is not coming with heavy volumes, but the buying you can clearly see is coming up with good volumes, right? The volumes are going up with every buying level. So definitely worth looking into and keeping into your watch list for sure. Now moving on to Anupam Rasayan. This is a recent listing only, got listed last year. Went up very quickly, came down, again went up very quickly, and then came crashing down to 800 rupee levels. Right now it's trying to consolidate here. Let's see what happens. As of now, there is no bullish momentum. Moving on to Angel 1. This looks interesting. So this was a previous resistance right here, and it's broken out of that resistance last week and had consolidated for the better part of, and consolidated largely last week in the 3 days of trading here. So definitely a stock in very strong bullish momentum that you can see here. And I guess what we are seeing here is a ascending triangle pattern that has broken out. And in the case of an ascending triangle pattern, let's switch over to the line chart. That will give us more clarity here. Yeah, so we can clearly see that this was the resistance line. Let's move this down a little bit. Okay. These are the bottoms. As we can see, the bottoms are higher every time, and this is the ascending triangle pattern that's formed. Now if we take a depth of the ascending triangle and we move it up, then your potential gain comes to about 32%. Now this is definitely a trade worth looking into, even though I say that I normally take trades where I have a gain of 40% and above, but this is definitely a trade that we should add to our tracker. The reason being that this is a stock which is in very strong momentum, so very hard to ignore in the kind of market situation we are currently. Having these kind of stocks is very good. Second, there is a pattern behind it. So we are not just, making things up in our own heads and thinking that okay, a breakout above this will lead to this price action. There is a pattern behind the price action as well, which is a good sign. So that definitely adds more confidence to the trade. Okay, so our target entry price will be the same as today. Price as good as any. The target will be here 2171 rupees. So the potential gain is 28.95%. The okay, got it. And the stop loss in this case will be this, which is 1152. Okay, you can keep it this low, 1502. This trade is active. This is the current market price, and our buy date will be tomorrow. So tomorrow's closing price will be the buying price. All right, let's move over to Blue Star Co. So this stock is trading at all-time high levels. I'm not sure why a company like Blue Star and all these AC companies are trading at such high levels, even though summer is there and their sales might pick up. But there's such high inflation. I don't know how easy it will be to sell air conditioners to anyone. So definitely a stock in good momentum, but it's a very slow moving stock, as you can see from the history here. Consolidates for a very long time, makes an up move, then consolidate down, and now it consolidated here for like 6-7 months and then moved up. So definitely a good momentum trade, but I will personally avoid this stock. Moving on to Web of Global, the stock is also trading at rock bottom levels, but the last 2 weeks have been interesting. Very strong volume buying has come over here. So I would look into the stock further if it were to give a close above this 530 rupees levels. Then you can see a very strong up move back to its all-time high. Gold prices are going up, so Weber Global is into the gold business. They make jewelry, etc. So there could be a good chance that increase in gold prices might boost the share price as well. So definitely keep this in your watch list. Moving on to all cargo logistics, the stock is also consolidating here in a price range. It's been consolidating since November of last year. Let's see, let it give a breakout above this line of 402 rupees. Then we can see if there is any bullish momentum on it. Moving on to VGuard does not seem to have any bullishness. It's in a downtrend, so better to avoid this right now. LG Equipment has also corrected very sharply, but the last 3 weeks are interesting. Three good green candles. That's good. That's a good sign. So as of now, there's no chart pattern except that I can see, but definitely a good stock to have in your watch list. Do wait for it to give a closing above 360 levels, then you can see a bullish momentum again. But as of now, just wait and watch the stock. Network 18 is highly bullish. There's already some marking that I've made here. It broke out above this and now it's sustaining above this breakout level. So definitely a very bullish stock. If you look at the monthly chart, we can clearly see what our next target is going to be. If it sustains above this level that we have already marked, then the next logical resistance comes directly at 174. So an 84% potential gain can be made in network 18. Now for this to happen, let's look at this consolidation zone that the stock went through for the last couple of years, right? This was the entire zone of consolidation, and that consolidation was broken out back in November 2021. So let's take the depth of this entire consolidation, and if you plot it up, then the first target of this consolidation zone comes at 127 rupees. And this level will definitely be a strong resistance because this level was previously the support back in 2010. So this will act like a first resistance, and if it does break this resistance, then your next target comes to 84 sorry uh, 170 rupees. That becomes the next target. So definitely worth keeping in the watch list. So I am adding it right here. Media stocks seem to be doing pretty well lately. But wait a minute, let me just see how much is this from the current market price. Okay, so a 34% gain from the current market price, not bad at all. So 93.80 media index doing well. Breakout, that is the month of. So when did this breakout happen? It happened in the month of October last year. 2021. Since then, consolidating at 52-week high. So our target entry price, we're going to keep it the same as today, 93.80. Our first target, we'll first keep the first target as a target, which is 126 rupees. 126. The potential gain is 34.33%. Let's move over to the weekly chart. The stop loss in this case will be the low of this green candle right here. So 88.75. That is the stop loss I'm going to keep. So that's a potential loss of 5%. This trade is active. This is the current market price. 18th April will be the buy date tomorrow. Okay. Quickly moving on to Jubilant, let's see, Jubilant Pharma. Okay, so this stock is currently trading at its all-time low. Not its all-time low, but 52-week low for sure. And there seems to be this huge gap over here from 513 rupees to 498 rupees. So there's a big gap here. This gap needs to be first closed to get the first sign of reversal. So unless this gap is closed, there is no bullish momentum at all. Please avoid the stock. So that's the view on Jubilant Pharma. Moving on to Axo India. The stock is also not doing well. It's been in a complete downtrend since the last 1 year. Since Jan 2021, it's been in a downtrend. So better to avoid the stock. Moving to Credit Access Grameen. Is that the right name? Credit Access Grameen. Okay. So Credit Access Grameen has broken out last week. Interesting. Very interesting. So if you look here, this is the all-time high of February 2020. Then came the COVID fall. So clearly this stock was in a bullish uptrend already. Right? This was in a bullish uptrend since its listing. Since October 2018, it was in a bullish uptrend. But then came the huge COVID crash, which brought the price down from 1000 rupees to 300 rupees. Then tried to move up, went down again, moved up, went down again, and now what a stellar move it's given, right? I mean, just look at it. Just the moment it broke away from this downward trend line back in February 2022, since then it's been just going up. I mean, the entire market's gone nowhere, but this stock has gone ahead, touched its previous all-time high, and I think now it's in momentum it's ready to go further and continue this rally again. So as of now, I'm not sure what target to calculate here. But yeah, if anyone does want to play momentum in this, they should definitely go for the stock. Moving on to Sonata Software. So IT companies aren't really doing that great right now. There seems to be some form of a bullish flag pattern maybe forming here. So let's see, let us give a breakout above these two resistance lines, above this resistance zone. Then we can consider entering into a trade. Polymedicure again making sort of like a flag or pole pattern, possibly. Let's see if this flag is broken out from this level. And if this is the pole, like so, and if you put the pole at the bottom of the flag, then the next target potentially comes in at 1394 rupees, which from this breakout zone is a gain of about 38%. So let the breakout first happen, then we will add it into our watch list. Right now it's been in a downtrend since May of last year on a downward channel. Can possibly continue for a little bit longer, so better to avoid this trade as of now. Moving on to CGCL, Capri Global Point. This is a stock which is in momentum. It consolidated in a very tight range here for a very long time. You could say for close to a year. And now it's in some sort of a bullish momentum. It's slowly going up. So anyone who is a momentum trader can potentially make a position here. Moving to Lakshmi Machine Works, this stock is trading at its consolidating at its all-time high. Had a very strong move in the month of Jan, and then that move took a pause after all the geopolitical problems started happening out in Europe. Right now, it's sort of making some form of a U-shaped or a slide kind of a pattern here. Not really sure if it's a pattern, but it's making some sort of a slide here. So very possible that could make a rounding bottom and just move up again. So let's wait for it to give a closing above this line of 1054 rupees. Then we can definitely take some positions in this. Moving on to Jubilant and Gravia. This stock is in a complete downtrend right now. Please avoid the stock. Do not enter this. Looking at Clark's services, then this stock has also been consolidating at all-time high. But there is no bullish momentum right now, so better to avoid this stock. Any bullish momentum will only get confirmed about 2620 rupees. So that's all the time I have today, guys. Have to wrap up a little early here. I think what we have found good enough trades even in such a short amount of time. We found one trade which has the potential to give close to 100% gain, and then we have some smaller trades like Angel One, which can give a 29% gain, which is a pattern based trade. And then we have network 18, which has the potential to give much higher returns, but we are going to take the first target as our the first resistance as our target, and keep that in mind. So hope you enjoy watching the video. Hope you got to learn something. Do comment down below if you have any feedback, and thank you for watching.